Hi, this is Alfie Whattam, London's tech recruiter and the host of the London Technology Podcast. Today I'm joined by Joakim. Thanks for joining us. Could you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Alfie. Greetings from southeastern Sweden, where I'm spending a couple of weeks having a vacation. So my background is essentially in travel tech, and I would say I've been working in travel tech since about 1995. So I've seen many ups and many downs in terms of technology. I think the travel industry is one of those industries that are relying on very, very old technology. And as times have changed, the systems have evolved by being built on upon built on upon built on. So you come to a point where you have so much technical debt that it's almost impossible to move forward with that legacy platform. So I've been in many, many different projects where you actually try to upgrade the systems to something modern, and that's a very difficult task. So as I said, I've seen almost everything when it comes to swapping systems or patching systems, and at the moment I'm working in a travel startup where we essentially are building everything from scratch using all new technologies and really thinking about how do we future-proof this platform in the best way possible. Not only going for the shiny new and fresh technologies, but really thinking about what will the infrastructure look like in 5 to 10 years, and how can we make sure that we don't end up in this sort of trap where we have to build upon an old system and just make silly decisions because we didn't do our homework right when we designed it.
Yeah.
And as I said, I'm working as a CTO now, and a couple of years ago I worked for an American company, a very big travel company called Sabre, as the head of innovation and also tech evangelist. So my job at the time was to find all these new technologies and really think about, are they really making sense in travel? Can we bring this new beautiful technology into travel, and by doing so making travel a bit easier? So that's my elevator pitch background, if you may.
Good stuff. Now, a lot of people that watch these videos, Joakim, they're IT grads, they're quite new to the industry. Have you got any people that is starting there?
You were breaking up a little bit there.
So a lot of people that watch these videos, they're quite new to the industry, IT grads. Have you got any advice for people that are just sort of starting on their, tech careers?
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day, and it's a bit different because it depends on in which area you're sort of focusing on. If you're focusing on leading a development team, if you want to be a developer, I think I worked with so many developers that I've appreciated, and the thing that I appreciate in a developer is that he's not specialized. It's not a specialized backend developer. It's not a specialized front-end developer. I'm always looking for sort of full stack developers, and also if you are a developer, learn more than one language. Try to be really good at one language. Java, for example. Java will be there forever, and then you have the sort of trendy languages as PHP is fairly young. Python has made a comeback. There is Golang, which is a brand new shiny language from Google, and it can turn out either way, because I'm not sure that Golang will be around in 10 years. I know that Java will. So if you have a fallback language, and I also know that if there's a developer that knows Python, he usually knows another language, because that's not your typical entry-level language. So if you're really interested in becoming a really good developer, learn more than one language. That's my advice. And from a leader perspective, I realized many years ago that it's not having an army of badass developers that makes a success necessarily of a development project. one of the most important roles in a development project, I would say, is the DevOps guys. They're the ones that set up the infrastructure. They are the ones that set up the deployment infrastructure as well, so that the developers don't have to worry about how is my code checked, how is my code deployed. So, I mean, I would really encourage developer or engineers right out of school to think about becoming DevOps, because to me, those guys are the unsung heroes in most, both development projects, but also maintenance teams, because these guys knows the servers ins and outs, and you know, they're the ones really that make sure that the beautiful platform that has been developed is running as designed, and that there are no, you know, worries really. So DevOps.
Yeah, DevOps is definitely a growing and very exciting area to be in. I suppose on the topic of exciting and cutting edge technologies, are there any technologies which you're passionate about, which you think will have a big impact on the future?
Yes, I mean, lately I've been sort of deep diving into. I mean, we talk about artificial intelligence, and you know, in a way, artificial intelligence isn't really artificial, because to date, there's always a human who tells the computer how to interpret things. And I think two areas especially are super interesting. That's image recognition and comparison, and also NLP, natural language processing, where, you know, for the first time in history, we have the ability to have a machine understand intent of spoken and written language. There's still a way to go, I would say, but I mean, the tech has come very, very far, and you know, even if I work with this on a daily basis, I'm still impressed by, you know, getting the responses back from a machine and not a human. And there are many companies that have been using this for years. So their front end sort of help desk is actually a machine. It's not a human. So you can chat with it, and you can speak on the phone even, and you will have a synthesized voice that sounds like a human. And I've been thinking about some examples that a machine typically wouldn't be able to separate. So if I look at a recipe and I need 2.5 cups of flour, that's fine. But when you speak about a human, you can't say 2.5 humans, because a half a human can't live. So therefore, there can only be full entities of humans. So things like that, and I'm just struggling a bit, thinking about how will a machine be able to determine or distinguish the difference between 2.5 cups of flour and 2.5. When we speak about FTEs, that's possible, full-time employees, because one employee can do something half time and do something else the other half time. But in units with living organism, you can't say a half or a part of a whole, you know. But so I would say that is the most exciting thing, because I think the usage of NLP will be massive in the next couple of years. Because I mean, in my years in IT, I've seen so many support organizations that are suffering, because that's usually the entry level for anyone that comes in, and they start in a help desk, and then, you know, they want to become a developer, they want to become a project manager, and so it's always a springboard. So when they become really good, they move away, and you're stuck with people that you have to train again. With bot technology and NLP, you'll be able to have a solid sort of support function that will actually learn over time as well, as a machine learning entity.
Yes, no, these are definitely exciting and emerging areas, and definitely good areas for people watching this to, you know, research. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to have a quick chat and get your ideas and insights. Really appreciate your time, and thank you to everybody for watching as well.
Thank you very much, Alfie.